Welcome to Mental Illnesses About Teens for Teens. I'm Jonathan,
I'm Elisa.
and in this episode, we'll be talking about anxiety.
So, Jonathan, how are you feeling?
I honestly don't know. 1 in 14 people around the world have an anxiety disorder, yet people oftentimes wait at least 10 years before seeking help. We don't know how to talk about these things, yet they're so essential to our lives. Our mental health, which includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being, determines our perception, how we feel, how we cope with things, and how we think. Anxiety disorders are characterized by excessive fear or anxiety that is difficult to control and negatively impacts daily functioning.
For teens of this age, they are faced with so many different things, whether it be future education, jobs, exams, plans for the weekend, or even posting on social media. All of these things can make their lives even harder, especially for those who suffer from anxiety. Anxiety disorders typically develop in childhood and persist through adulthood.
The first thing 80% of people do when they wake up is check their phone. Our minds are being programmed to make technology, media, and phones an essential part of our lives. Today, we are faced with a bunch of unnecessary things through technology, and rather than those who are designing it to benefit us, they are designing it to get us to engage with it, interact with it, and get us hooked through colors, notifications that disrupt your screens, sounds, and tapping.
For example, many teens use the social media platform Snapchat. I'm sure many of our viewers use Snapchat as well as myself. Snapchat's infamous streak keeps track of how many days you talk to another person. This creates unnecessary stress in someone's life because they feel as though if they lose the streak, they're letting their friend down. Snapchat also has something called Snap Maps. Snap Maps let viewers see where other people are on a map. And it can make people feel left out if they see their friends somewhere else without them.
As social beings, we have a need to belong and feel validated by our peers. But with the world of technology, these relationships and perceptions of self can become distorted and rapidly shift. Many teens see images that show artificial yet perfect versions of people online, and they can see if they're being left out.
Unnecessary things like these can make teens' lives even more stressful, especially those who have anxiety disorders. And if teens aren't on social media, it's like they're being left out of this digital world that everyone else seems to be a part of.
In individuals who have general anxiety disorder, also known as GAD, they excessively worry. Though not everyone who does worry does have an anxiety disorder. Those who have GAD feel as if they're unable to control their worries, are impaired due to their worrying, feel restless, feel muscle tension, have difficulty thinking, and they have difficulty falling asleep due to their worrying.
Another type of anxiety is agoraphobia, which is characterized by extreme fear or anxiety situations, such as being out of their home alone or being in crowds. People with agoraphobia oftentimes will avoid these situations if possible, or they will feel it's necessary to bring another person along. Many people with agoraphobia also fear that when they go somewhere or are alone outside of their home, that they will have a panic attack.
Panic disorder and agoraphobia are separate anxiety disorders, yet they often occur together. Panic attacks are a fight or flight response, which is a sudden rush of intense anxiety with symptoms such as rapid heart rate, difficulty breathing, numbness or tingling, or fear of dying. Panic attacks usually reach their peak within minutes, though for some people they can continue to feel anxious or exhausted after one occurs.
Popular to contrary belief, social anxiety disorder can affect students who don't appear shy or socially isolated. Social anxiety is when social and performance situations create high anxiety from being with other people, have a hard time talking to others, feel self-conscious in front of others, worry about being humiliated, embarrassed, or offending other people. If they're afraid others will judge them, worry days or even weeks in advance of an event with people, stay away from places with other people, tremble around others, and feel nauseous when others are around.
One myth is that all people who have anxiety have stage fright. Jordan Rask-Powless, lead singer of the Axis of Awesome musical comedy group, is always on stage, loves and has confidence when she performs, yet she has an anxiety disorder. Jordan gets what she calls life fright from talking on the phone, talking to someone whose name she doesn't know, from going to the grocery store, or even going on a ride-sharing service.
Though everybody can feel anxiety and stress sometimes, not everybody has an anxiety disorder. This is why it's important to seek help from medical professionals and hear their thoughts.
It's important to get a clear image of what someone exactly means when they say they're experiencing overwhelming anxiety. It's normal to feel anxiety, though do they also feel nervous, tense, afraid, anxious, restless, or irritable?
It is important to recognize when your anxiety comes from normal events such as life occurrences or occasional worries. Talking to a therapist and a doctor about your feelings and mental health is essential.
Before Googling your feelings and finding a whole bunch of possible disorders,
Yes.
talk to a professional. Only they can diagnose you, give you effective treatment, help you better understand your mental health, and give you tips on mental wellness.
There are dangers in self-diagnosing. Don't do it.
It's been found that individuals who face anxiety and have anxiety disorders, especially adolescents and teens, use suppression to regulate their mental well-being.
Suppression is when you put a thought or idea aside and focus on something else, think about something else, or simply wait on something else to happen to lessen your current anxiety.
Suppressing can actually make one's anxiety worse. Instead, we suggest you try some of the following things to cope with your anxiety.
So to cope, you can maintain a normal routine. You can talk and connect with others. You should be active mentally and physically. Keep yourself healthy and take mental breaks. These can all help you immensely with your anxiety.
It's estimated that 1 in 14 people around the world have an anxiety disorder, so realize that you're not alone and that what you're experiencing is actually quite common. Emotions are your body telling you something, and the more you can get comfortable with understanding your emotions, you can understand yourself and you can learn how to leverage your emotions. And if you do that, you're going to have a better life.
Another strategy for coping with your anxiety and stress is to pick times throughout the day to worry. So this means setting aside a small amount of time to worry about your anxieties, because you do not want to spend the entire day worrying about these, because it is shown that if you think about it for a small amount of time and the rest of the day you don't, those thoughts will decay and you will not constantly need to feed them with energy.
Finally, the best thing you can do is talk. Talk to friends, family, peers, a doctor, therapist, or a professional. We're social beings. Take advantage of the billions of people on this world with you.
Thanks for joining us on Mental Illness About Teens for Teens. Make sure to watch our other episodes on depression and eating disorders to learn more.
And to talk to someone, you can text CONNECT to 741-741 or visit crisistextline.org/anxiety.
There's help out there. Don't give up.